queen of romantasy herself. I'm speechless. This is just getting worse and worse. Welcome back to another video. If you're new here, hi, my name is Breeze, stay for a while. So I've got a very exciting video for you, very exciting. So I asked a few booktubers to recommend me some of their favourite books they think I should read, and they delivered. They did deliver. I'm very excited for this reading vlog, and you should be as well. So I asked 3 booktubers, because this is a weekly challenge and I can only read 3 books in 1 week. At a push. So I asked 3 booktubers what they think I should read. They give me some options, but I'll go through them with you now. Well, I'm gonna go through one at a time. So first gonna start off with the queen of romantasy herself, which is Emmy Rosa. If you do not subscribe to Emmy, then you need to, especially if you're a romantasy girly like myself. She's the queen of romantasy. I get so many book recommendations from Emmy, and her reading vlogs, she's the queen of reading vlogs as well. Like, her reading vlogs I could just watch all day, every day. I could not get sick of it reading vlogs. She's got me into Zodiac Academy, she's got me into so many romantasy books because she's the absolute queen of them, and I could not recommend her enough if you need some more romantasy recs. So I knew when I was doing this video I had to ask Emmy for a book recommendation, and I kind of like knew what she was going to recommend me. I was kind of hoping this is what she was going to recommend me, but she recommended me Metal Slinger by Rachel Schneider. She's been raving about this all over TikTok, all over Book Talk, Bookstagram, everything, and because she's been raving about it, I was like, I kind of want an excuse to read this book, so I kind of knew she was going to recommend that to me, but I'm so glad she did, because I really want to read this, all because of Emmy. But she told me, she was like, it's a good one to go in blind, and also everything will eventually make sense and come together at the end, so you just have to ride the wave while reading. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. I don't know anything about this book. I haven't read like the synopsis, the blurb, whatever you want to call it. I'm literally going in blind, okay? Blind. I have no idea what it's about other than Emmy loves it. So I'm kind of excited, really excited actually, not kind of. I haven't even started it yet. I had to make sure this was my first one. The next book that we're going to be reading isn't here yet. It's coming Wednesday. I had to order it, which I'm also very excited for. But without further ado, let's get into Metal Slinger. We have Alha people and Kenta people. Now the Kenta people live on land, and the Alha people were banished when the Kenta people won the war years ago. They were banished to the ocean, and they live on boats, and they're not allowed on land ever. And the only time they're allowed on land is for this market that happens once every few years. That's what I've gathered so far. People on this boat who have never touched land before in their life, which is insane. Sweetheart. Yes sir. Yes sir. I don't think he is the main love interest. I'm guessing the main love interest is someone from the land, because she's from the boat, she lives on the ship. She's not allowed to go on land other than for this market. But the guy that just said sweetheart is her friend from the ship, and I'm guessing he's not the love interest. I'm guessing it's obviously someone from the other side. So we've got a bit of enemies to lovers going on. Blush tints her freckled cheeks. Mine too. Guys, I'm obsessed. I'm literally obsessed. So I am literally 50% of the way through. I'm on page 249 to 32. Last night I read up to 200 pages. Like, I just laid here and read 200 pages. I could not get enough. I read like a first few chapters, which I like filmed, you see me do, and then I got like, had a shower and everything, got my pajamas, and I just sat in bed for hours reading 200 pages. And then like I physically couldn't keep my eyes open anymore. It's like 1 AM and I was like, I need to go to sleep. But I could have stayed awake all night and read the whole book. I think I read like 50 pages or 49 pages because I literally stopped on 200 last night. So I've read like 49 pages this morning. I've like filmed a few videos and stuff this morning ready for bookmas, which is stressing me out. I've got so many videos that I need to edit and upload and send off for like approval and things like that. It's stress. Like, I don't know how people are doing the first half of December for their bookmas. I think Sarah Crowley is doing the first half of December, but I'm glad that a bunch of you voted for the second half of December for the last video to go up on Christmas Eve, because I could not have done the first half. But that's got nothing to do with this video. But I'm obsessed with this, okay? Like, literally obsessed. It's so fast paced. Even though like there was a little bit of a lull last night when I was reading, like they were in this boat, so they were like, I'm not going to tell you what happened, but they've gone from one place to they were coming onto land, and there was like a little bit of a lull because they were just on this boat for like, which felt like never-ending chapters. But the chapters, like, they were like really quick chapters, but when I was reading them I was like, fucking hell, are they still on this boat? Like, when are they getting off this boat? And then like the chapters after that, the first like 3 chapters maybe after they were off the boat, wasn't like much happening for them either, but I'm just like, I was still like hooked, like I was still obsessed, like I just needed to know what happened next. The female character is called Bryn. The way the world is, the land is called Kenta, okay, and at the start of this they're attending the annual market in Kenta, but Kenta are the same people who exile Alha to live on boats. Basically, they're not allowed back on land ever. So Alha is like, basically, it's so cool how it's described, like they're like, it's like a village of boats, okay, like all the boats are like connected, and like it's just really cool the way everything is, because they're not allowed on land. Years ago during the war they were exiled for a reason that we discovered, but I'm not going to tell you, obviously, and they're only allowed back on land once a year when the annual market is, to like get their supplies. So Kenta allows them to once a year get like supplies and food and stuff like that. Then we meet Aka, okay? I'm not going to tell you how we meet Aka or why we meet Aka, but Aka I think is like the love interest. I'm hoping, okay? If anything goes wrong in this situation between Bryn and Aka, I will be heartbroken. I was told to just go with the flow and to expect the unexpected and to not trust anyone. So I'm really scared. Okay, like I'm so scared. Apparently Emmy told me it's gonna all make sense in the end, so I think something's gonna happen and I don't know what, but I'm really scared because I am obsessed with these characters. Like obsessed with them. But I can't really like tell you much than like, other than Bryn is now on land with Aka. That's all I'm gonna tell you, and I can't tell you much more than that without spoiling it. Like there's so much happening, but I will say that she's like, it's not really a spoiler, but she's like discovering a lot about herself that she didn't know, and she's also discovering a lot of things about like magic and things, and I'm glad to be on the journey with her. Like I always say, show me, don't tell me, and we are being shown things, not told things, and I'm so happy about that, because that's just all I need in my romancy box. I need to be shown things all the time. But I've got a bunch of videos, as I've already mentioned, that I need to edit and stuff. I've got some thumbnails I need to get done, so I'm gonna do that for the rest of the day. It's quite early on still in the day. I feel like we've still got enough time. Yeah, it's only 3 o'clock, so we've got enough time to like edit. I'm gonna sit down, get some editing done, and then we're gonna carry on with Metal Slinger. But I probably won't read this until I'm in bed tonight and I'm like in my pajamas and getting cozy, because I need to stay awake. Even though I wish that I could just sit here and binge the rest of this, I desperately need to get some editing done, so that's what I'm gonna do right now. I'm gonna stop talking to you, I'm gonna stop procrastinating, and I'm gonna edit my video to send off for approval. But it's currently the next day from the last update. I think I have an update to do since yesterday, or filmed anything since yesterday, because I said that I was gonna edit a bunch of videos, which I did. I was up until 1 AM finishing the video that needed to be sent off for approval. I didn't read anything after my last update yesterday, but I've read for a bit today. I've read quite a bit today. I read 100 pages this morning, so I've read about 130 pages today so far. I've got my hot chocolate and we've got just over 100 pages left, so that's what I'm gonna do for the next, how long is it gonna say it's gonna take me to read? It's gonna take me 1 hour and 4 minutes to read the next 100 and something pages, my Kindle says. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna sit and read the next 100 pages. Not much is happening. A lot has happened, but like not much that I can tell you. Like we've discovered a lot who she is, where she's come from. We've discovered a lot about the MMC. He's revealed a lot of secrets, which I'm kind of like sus about, because I'm like, I feel like he's gonna betray her in some way, and I'm like, there's gonna be some sort of betrayal. Like I'm waiting for it to happen, and when that comes, I know it's gonna destroy me. So that's why I got my camera out to film me reading these last 100 pages, because I know for a fact something's gonna happen. I can feel it deep in my gut, okay? I know that it's coming. They're like in the library right now. And the librarian, which is Bo's mother. Bo is Aka's sister. No, she's like, what will it be? Do you prefer mystery, drama, maybe a little romance? And then she goes, I keep the erotica behind the counter. What the fuck? You're telling me that was not the last chapter? I wouldn't have guessed that in a million years. I'm speechless. This is just getting worse and worse. Oh my... What is going on? That plot twist I was not expecting. What I predicted didn't happen. I can't even tell you what just happened, because it was spoiled, the whole entire plot. Like, I had tears in my eyes. The betrayal was that bad. And like, I just wasn't expecting it. I had literal tears. The audacity on Richard Schneider for ending the book like that. Oh my freaking god. I need time to stare at a wall for a bit, and then I'll come back and we'll debrief. It's the next day, and after staring at a wall, I've finally come to a decision of what I'm gonna rate this book, and I think I'm gonna settle on like a 4.5, because even though I loved it and I'm like obsessed with the characters, I didn't get that like 5-star feeling, because I think the more I thought about it, like there were some bits, like especially when they were on the boat and stuff, that they were just like, it was just boring. So like there was a bit in the middle where they were like on the boat for an endless amount of chapters, and then they were like trudging through the forest and everything, and she was having like this, I guess I can say without spoiling, like an awakening, so to say, and like she was like in and out of sleep a lot, and I think like that was really boring. That went on for endless amounts of chapters, and I was just like, But overall, obsessed. Like, if you want betrayal, like you've never thought of betrayal, like a plot twist that twists so hard, it has your head spinning on its shoulders, then you need to read this book, because that plot twist, okay, so midway through, I updated Emmy, and I was like, I can't even tell you what I told her, but she was like, no comment. And I was like, I messaged her yesterday when I finished it, I was like, I'm sorry, what the hell did I just read? Like, what did I just read? Because that betrayal, that plot twist, I was not expecting. But she did update me, and she was like, book 2 is going to be dual POV. So this is just from Bryn's POV. But book 2 is going to be dual POV, which I'm so excited for, because we get to have Aka's point of view. Literally, Aka has my heart. Like, literally love him so much. But I cannot recommend this book enough. Everybody needs to go read it. Like, now. And now moving on to our next booktuber that chose my read for me for this week. And I thought, when I was choosing this, you obviously know the people I've asked because it's on my thumbnail. But when I asked this person, I was like, I need to ask this person, because she is the girlie that got me into booktube. Like, she's the first person that I started watching on booktube. And she's just like the queen of YouTube in my eyes. Like, I'm so obsessed with Sarah Crowley, right? And like, I watched the videos and I was like, I want to do my own booktube. I want to start my own booktube. And she got me into the world of booktube. She has introduced me to a lot of books, like a lot of books she's influenced me to read just from watching her vlogs, and I just love her so much. Like, she seems like the sweetest person ever to walk this earth. So I was like, I have to ask Sarah for her opinion, because we have such similar like book tastes. She replied more or less straight away, which is insane. She said, hi queen, I'm gonna say the 7 slip or The X-Files. I have read The 7 Years Slip. Didn't enjoy it that much. I think I rated like a 2-star. Wasn't a big fan. I just don't think I'm a big fan of like there's a word for it, like the fantasy realism thing that she writes, that author writes. What's her name? Ashley Poston. The way that she writes that realism thing with like the ghosts and stuff. Not really a big fan of that, so I think that's why I didn't enjoy it. I haven't read The X-Files, but I've got it here. This is the book that I had to order because I haven't read anything about Jessica Joyce before, but I have seen Sarah like speak and rave about this on her YouTube, and I've heard her speak about it on the podcast that she has with Destiny. Kind of glad that she recommended this because I've heard her mention a few times that she loved this so much because she sees herself in the character, and I was like, okay, hopefully I can really get into this and I might see myself in the female main character. I did start it last night. I'm 55 pages in and I'm obsessed. Literally obsessed, because tell me why I got literally 10 pages in and I was like underlining and highlighting the shit out of it. The female main character is so me in so many ways, and I've seen like a bunch of reviews on this before and a lot of people were saying that they didn't enjoy the book because there was a lot of internal monologue and we were just like inside the female main character's brain a lot of the time. Sometimes I really dislike that. Sometimes I hate when we're just like inside, like when we're just like full of internal monologue. But with this, because I resonate with this character so much and the way that her brain works is like I'm reading my brain on paper. It's insane. But like I got 10 pages in and she's like, here's the thing, I'm a list girl, I learned the magic of them long ago. The way they can streamline tasks and expectations, how they can take a messy, chaotic thing and make it manageable. They've been my coping strategy since I was a kid. They quiet my mind and untangle my emotions so that I stay cool, calm and compartmentalized so I'm not a messy, chaotic thing. I'm sorry. Like just that one quote, I was like, this is me. Like, this is me. Such a list girly. I have so many like side bits like with my actual job, YouTube. I've also started working as a content creator for the She Made It book box. So like I have a bunch of like little things that like going on the side. I need a list for everything, otherwise my mind will be like so chaotic. I've also got ADHD, like raging ADHD. I need a list for everything in my life. I literally have a master list and then I have little lists to do like each day. Like my notes app on my phone is just filled with lists, and the way that Georgia's mind just works is like crazy. And then but we have got like a romance, obviously this is a romance. It follows Georgia, and her and Eli broke up like 5 years ago and now they're best friends. So when they were younger they were in a trio. There was 3 of them. There was Eli, Georgia and what's his name? Adam. His name's Adam. So it's Eli, Georgia and Adam. They're like a trio of best friends, but Eli and Georgia started dating, but they broke up 5 years ago. But now Adam's getting married, he's having his wedding and a lot of things are going wrong, and Eli and Georgia have got to work together to like help make this wedding as good as they can and try and like stay cool and calm around each other, even though they're not over each other. We can tell they're not over each other, even though it's been 5 years. They're trying to like be civil around Adam, so Adam doesn't think that their trio is broken just because like they dated, because sometimes that can happen, you know, because they want to still be friends but they've still got feelings for each other. So I'm kind of just up to the bit now where Eli's come into town. We're just now starting to like get into the story of like their dynamic and how things are going to work when Eli and Georgia are together, and I'm so excited. Like I honestly think this could be a 5-star, which is crazy as I'm only 50 pages in. But it could be an easy 5 stars. So thank you Sarah for recommending this book, because I might have found a new favourite author. And I think there's a second book. I don't know whether it's part of a series, but I know there's another book by Jessica Joyce, which is You the View, I think it's called, which I've seen loads of people rave about. I haven't seen many people rave about this, but I've seen loads of people rave about You with a View. So I'll definitely give that a go after I read this. But I've got a bunch of things I need to do today. My friend, my bestie, is coming up here and we're going to go into the city and go to Winter Wonderland. We're going to have a very Christmassy evening, which I'm so excited for. Like literally so excited for. I probably won't be able to read until later on tonight, so hopefully I have enough time to read before I want to go to bed tonight, because I need to get this video done. But if I can get like tonight, if I have enough time, if I can get like halfway through this book, which is probably only another like 100 pages until I'm about halfway through, I'll be happy with. And like even last night, like I very rarely finish a book and jump straight into another book. Like I need time to like digest the book that I've just read. But I finished Metal Slinger, I chilled for a bit, stared at a wall, did all the things that I needed to do after that plot twist, and then I thought, you know what, I'll just start the X-Files, even if I just read like the first chapter, just to get like a gist of what's going on. I literally ended up pulling out my annotating shit just so I could habit because I was so obsessed, and literally an hour went by like this. I only read for an hour because I only got up to like 50 something pages, but like an hour went by like this. I honestly didn't even feel like I was reading. I was like, the way this is written is just like does something to my brain, and it doesn't even feel like I'm reading. It just feels like I don't know, I don't know how to explain it, but I'm obsessed. I'll pick you back up whenever I can and whenever I pick up this book. So I'm almost finished with the X-Files. I was gonna say Year with the View then, but no, the X-Files. So I last updated today when I was gonna go to Winter Wonderland, and I read for a bit when I got home, but it was like quite late and I couldn't be bothered to pull my camera out and film myself reading. I didn't read anything yesterday. I was so unwell yesterday. I still don't feel like 100% today. Like, I just had like the worst migraine and I just felt like absolute rubbish yesterday. So I just took yesterday, like, because of my migraine, I just couldn't read because like it was just making my head hurt even more. But I've read for a bit today. I've read quite a bit today. I've literally only got, I'm almost at 300. I'm on page 299, so basically 300. So I think I've got about 50 pages left or something like that. I've basically got like the whole gist of the story now because I've only got like 50 pages left. I think in my last update I said like this could easily be 5 stars, and it could have easily been a 5-star, but at the minute it's sitting at like a 4.25 4-star. And the reason it's dropped down is just for the fact of like the relationship between our two main characters. So obviously we got Georgia, and I can still like at the moment see myself in Georgia, like her personality and like the way she thinks and everything like that, and the things that she's been through. I can really see myself in Georgia and I resonate a lot with her, and I think that's why it's such like a high rating, is because I'm resonating with the main characters so much. And the only reason why it's like not a 5 stars is because the romance started up too quickly in my opinion. They need to come together, work together, spend a lot of time together to try and get this wedding back on track and to make this day perfect for their best friend basically. And they go away to this vineyard together to try and set things up early, get things up and running before Adam and the bride get there. But like it just sort of switches, so like there's this back and forth, and like we're in Georgia's head quite a lot for this book, which I don't mind because her brain works the same as mine, which I don't mind the internal monologue. She's got this like push and pull back and forth inside her head of like, oh, like no, we can't do this, like I've got these rules, I've made a list, we can't do this, we can't do that, like I've got these rules. But then out of nowhere there's like this pool scene. No, wait, pause. There's a 1-bed scene, and it's about 100 and something pages in, probably before halfway. There's like a one bed scene, and then in the morning there's like this intimate moment. It's not like a full-blown intimate moment, but it's a moment. And I don't know, it just sort of came out of nowhere. I think for me, even though they're exes, I wanted that yearning. I wanted that like if you've read Happy Place, that goes on, like the back and forth between them in Happy Place goes on for a long period of time, and I really enjoy that. Like I want the slow burn, I want the yearning, I want the subtle glances, the subtle touches, I want that. And for this, it just like they just got back together too quickly, even though they don't fully get back together. Like those moments became too full-blown too quickly, if that makes any sense. But I'm gonna stop rambling now and we can read for a bit more. Where's my book? So we finished The X-Files by Jessica Joyce. I really enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it. I've rated it 4.25 on my Fable, and this could have easily been a 5-star if there was more of like a slow burn and there was more like yearning between the couples. And I know they've got a pass. When I read Happy Place, there was so much more of like a yearning between them, and it went on for a longer period of time, and that's what I need in these books. And I feel like with this, it just switched up so quickly. Like one minute we were like no, and then the next chapter we were literally like all over each other naked. I was like, where has this come from? So I think this could have easily been a 5-star if the relationship was written a bit better. Such an amazing read. Really enjoyed it. Really resonated with the female character and the way like her brain works and the stuff that she's like overcoming and the battles, like we're inside her head a lot of this book. So if you're not like keen on internal monologue, which I'm not usually, like I don't like a lot of internal monologue, but we are inside her head for a lot of this, and I enjoyed being there, like seeing how her brain works and the battles that she's going through inside her brain like every day, and like the way that she just overthinks everything. That is me to a T. And I really resonated with the female main character in this. But it's time to move on to our next read. Now, for our third and final booktuber, I thought I would ask Bestie Ella to recommend me a book. Now again, she was someone that I've always followed like on Bookstagram when I first came onto Bookstagram. Followed her on Bookstagram, such cute aesthetic vibes, honestly. And then I seen that she started booktube, and that like pushed me to start my booktube as well. And I feel like she's always got such amazing like romance reads, and I thought, you know what, I trust Bestie Ella to recommend me a really good romance book. She wasn't sure what she wanted to recommend me first. She was like, I have no idea what to recommend you. And then she recommended Archer's Voice. Now I have already read Archer's Voice, but I've been wanting to do a reread because I read this about 2 years ago, and I've been wanting to do a reread, and she was like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, it's fine, I'll do a reread because I really want to tab it and annotate the shit out of it. That's what we can reread it. Finally, the Archer's Voice. Now I am filming a 24 readathon, so there's going to be like an overlap. So I'm filming a 24 readathon, 10 minutes, we're going to be starting this 24 readathon. So I'm going to be reading this in the 24 readathon, so I'll get this done today, and today is Sunday. It's the last final day of this vlog, so we'll get this done today. So there's going to be like an overlap of clips. I've already told my 24 readathon vlog that there's going to be an overlap of clips between this 24 readathon. I have already read this book, so I already know what it entails. I just want to read about Archer again and his story. Oh my god, I know I'm gonna cry. I cried the first time I read this book, so I know I'm gonna cry. And the way like Bree and Archer just have like their own language that they can speak. It's obviously not their own language, but like Archer was in an accident when he was younger, and that left him mute. He's not deaf, he's just mute. He's not able to speak. We discover in the story of like how Archer was in this accident and how he became mute and stuff like that. Then we also see like how he isolated himself from this small town that he lives in, and everyone thinks he's like the weird guy, but he just actually can't speak, and no one knows like how to communicate with him. But he knows like sign language. He taught himself sign language. So then Bree comes into town and she's able to do sign language, and they're able to communicate with each other, and like, oh, honestly, it's the sweetest. You have to read Archer's Voice. And yes, the female character is called Bree, so you have to read it because of that. But he's honestly just the sweetest book boyfriend. He really is. So let's just get into reading this because I need to start this 24 readathon. Help me guys, help me. Halfway through Archer's Voice, I've been tabbing the absolute shit out of this book, and I just read the bit with like Travis, and where Travis takes him to the like strip club, and I'm like, I just wanted to write all over my page, asshole, 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 because that's what he is. Travis Hale is an asshole, and Archer Hale, that man, he just needs a big hug, and I really want to give him that big hug. Like everything about him is just like, I just love him so much, and I think it's just because like he needs to be protected, and I really feel like I could be the one that could do that for him. Like I just want to like give him a big hug and like tell him everything's okay. But Bree, the female main character, is doing an amazing job of that. Like she sees him, and I'm just like, oh, they've both gone like through so much. So like obviously Archer, in this accident, he's been isolated his whole life, isn't able to communicate with anyone. He feels he's a loner basically, that's what he is. And Bree comes into town and she knows sign language, they're able to communicate with each other. But Bree's also battling with her battles as well. She's running away from something. She's not from this small town, she's come to this small town to run away from her demons. There was like an incident back home where her dad died, and there was like an incident that happened to her that I'm not going to go into like detail with because I don't want to spoil anything for you. They're both going through things, and they're both like there for each other in such an amazing way, and they just get each other, you know. And that's why I just love romance books, because they just, sometimes things like these, like in moments like these in this book, like you can really see that they just get each other, and sometimes that doesn't get written done very well in some romance books, and I feel like that's why I connect to these ones better than I do other romance books. And I feel like this has still got that spice, but it's in such like an intimate way, because obviously, as you can imagine, Archer's never done anything with any woman before. He had his whole life isolated on his own property. He hasn't had a girlfriend or anything like that, and Bree shows him like what to do and tells him what to do, and he wants to like learn things, and it's so innocent and so intimate, and it's not like spicy because it's like so intimate and just innocent, really. Like, I know you can't really call spice innocent, but like, he is just so innocent, and you just want to protect him at all costs. Like, this man does deserve to be protected at all costs, and I just love this book. I'm like literally bang on halfway through, and obviously I'm filming for the 24-hour readathon, so I've just updated my 24-hour readathon. So hopefully I can get this other half completed in the next like 3 hours, and then we can end this vlog and I can focus on the 24-hour readathon. But I'm so glad that Ella chose this book for me to reread, like, honestly, because I don't think I would have reread it otherwise, and I just love this book. I know for a fact I'm gonna cry. There's been certain moments in this where I've like almost welled up, because just the stuff like that Bree's going through and the stuff that Archer's going through, and just seeing them like overcome. And these are just like characters that I knew that I loved, but I forgot how much, and being able to like read about them again, it just makes me want to like reread so many more of my favourite books. And I was like really scared, because like rereading 5 stars, sometimes you can have that feeling of, oh, that's not 5 stars anymore, but this is still a 5-star. Like, this is still a 5-star read for me. Like, I'm reading this and I'm reminded why I loved it and why it's a 5-star, and just why I love reading romance, basically. Like, reading books like these makes me realise how much I love reading and why I love reading, how much reading can make you feel, and just like, it's insane, to be honest. This book has just really got me in my feels right now. Yeah, I'm gonna continue reading now and finally finish it. I've literally just sat for 3 hours and I haven't moved, but I think I'm gonna get something to eat first, take a break from these four walls of my room, and then I'll come back to reading and finishing this, because I feel like I've just been here for 3 hours straight all morning. So it's been a few days since I finished Archer's Voice, and I thought I'd just wrap this vlog up because I need to finish this vlog and edit it and upload it before Vlogmas or Bookmas commences. I have a lot of videos that I'm in the middle of right now, so I'm trying to wrap everything up all at once. I didn't go in with this first. What did I read first? But I first went in with Mel Slinger, which isn't on my Kindle anymore. Whenever I finish a book on my Kindle, I always just delete it straight away. Like, my Kindle is so organised, unlike anything else in my life. But I read Metal Slinger on my Kindle, and I really loved that, guys. I loved it so much. I've spoken to Emmy since. I don't know whether I mentioned it in this vlog, but yeah, I spoke to Emmy since, and she said apparently book number 2 is going to be dual POV. So I'm guessing book 2 is in the works currently. But I literally loved that. I think I should really get the ratings up before I actually do these outros, because I can never remember what I actually rate these books. I rated it 4.5, only for the fact that I think I mentioned like it was really like lulling in some parts, like in the middle, even though I was obsessed with every single bit of this story, like the plot twist at the end, like what? That was insane. But the only thing that like it wasn't that 5-star is that I was like bored in some bits. Not like bored, but like it dragged on a little bit. Like I feel like it could have been wrapped up a lot quicker, like the bits where they were in the boat and when they were like trenching through the forest. And that's the only reason why it wasn't a 5-star. Even though it was given like 5-star feeling, there was like a little bits that didn't make it a 5-star, if that makes sense. And I then went in with The Exiles, which I absolutely loved. I've tabbed the living daylights out of this. I loved it so much. I rated this a 4.25 because I really resonated with the female main character. It was like reading inside her brain. And I've already mentioned this in the vlog, but like I love the internal monologue, and I usually hate internal monologue, like a lot of it. I like when characters are actually like communicating with each other. The internal monologue, the internal dialogue, whatever it's called, was eaten up because I loved just being inside her head, and I think I just like really resonated with her on so many levels, like her history, the way she thinks, the way she thinks things out and things like that, and her planning process. Like I was like, this is me. This is me right now. I had a good time reading this, and I think the only reason it wasn't, again, like higher, it lost marks, like this could have easily been a 5-star, like I mentioned, this could have been a 5-star. But the only reason it wasn't a 5-star is simply because of the fact that I feel like the romance happened too quickly, and even though they were like, it's a second chance romance, I feel like it was like that. Like I feel like one moment they were like really against anything, and then I feel like we went from 0 to 100 way too quickly. But still really enjoyed it, so thank you Sarah for recommending me this book, because I've definitely found a new favourite author and I will be reading You With A View, I think it's called. And then lastly, which you would have seen me read, is Actress Voice, and I absolutely tapped the living daylights out of this. I obviously read this, I finished it up in my 24 readathon, and I loved it so much. Like the second time around, I just loved everything about it, the way that like, oh, it's just Archer, I loved him so much. This is obviously still a 5-star. I don't re-rate my 5-star reads, because if I'm rereading a 5-star read, at one point in my life it was a 5-star. Just because it's not a 5-star the second time I read it doesn't mean it wasn't still a 5-star when I read it the first time. But I literally loved this. I tabbed and I annotated the living daylights out of this. Just so many like things that I'd forgotten in here, like how beautiful the quotes were and how beautiful their relationship is, and how like amazing Mia Sheridan wrote like a disability like representation, and how amazing she wrote it and like brought something to life. I just loved it so much, and I think that's like the empath in me. I'm a Cancer. I'm the biggest emotional empath that there is, okay? So to read like something like this will tear my heart out. And like the ending, if you've read the ending, like that little chapter where something happens and it has you thinking one thing, but actually like you read on a bit and something else happened. I forgot about that. And then I read it and I was crying because I was like, oh my god, I forgot that this happened. Thank you Ella for recommending this and getting me to tab the shit out of this. And yeah, that was the end of this vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed. I want to thank Emmy, Sarah and Ella for recommending these books to me. I'll definitely be doing another one of these. I have such a fun time just like reading books that other people enjoyed. I feel like it's such a fun way to read new books and like discover new authors and things like that. So I had a really fun time and I hope you guys did as well. And if you did, then don't forget to subscribe and give it a thumbs up and all that other YouTubey stuff that I was asking you to do. And I see you guys in the next vlog. Bye!